So in today's video, I'm going to talk to y'all about baby essential items that are actually needed and not just marketed to you to make you think that you need them. I've now had 4 children, and with each child, my list of baby essentials has gotten less and less. And I've spent about a week here lately going around the house looking at the things I actually use for this baby, this 4th baby. And I'm going to share those with y'all today. And this list is very short. That new parents are marketed so many things that they need for baby, so many gadgets, so many outfits, so many trinkets that they need for the new baby, and it's just not necessary. We were given so many things, and it was such a blessing with our first child, but so many of those things we didn't even use, like in the long run, realizing we didn't actually have to have this thing. Like we were told we needed this thing by society and marketing schemes. So let's go through this list. It's pretty short. I'll keep it pretty simple. I'll have links for all of this below if you want to check any of the items out that we use. Keep it very minimal, very budget friendly, and I just don't like lots of baby stuff taking up my house because babies don't really need that much. They really just need mama, they need milk, they need a place to lay and rest, they need a few clothes, a few diapers. It's pretty basic. So I'll start out with what I'm using right now, and that is Swaddle Blankets. So this is a swaddle blanket, but ironically we use swaddle blankets for everything in the world except swaddling. Probably the most common use is, like I'm using it now, a nursing cover. I've had nursing covers in the past. They were cumbersome to put on. They were kind of awkward to get on and off. It was hard to like check on baby for latch when they're really little and you have to kind of help them latch sometimes. This is just so much easier. Drape one shoulder over. If I was around a lot of people, I would probably drape this one as well just to make sure I was well covered. But other than that, that's probably my #1 use for swaddle blankets is a nursing cover. You don't actually have to have all the fancy nursing covers that are marketed to us. Another way I use swaddle blankets is just to lay baby on to change diapers. We don't even worry about changing pads anymore, changing pad covers. I just lay baby on a swaddle blanket. If something gets on the blanket, throw it in the wash, pull out another one. I also use them like in the kitchen when I'm cooking. I'll lay a quilt down, lay a swaddle blanket on top. These are muslin swaddle blankets, by the way. They get softer with time, softer with wash. They're so cuddly and just soft for baby. So I'll lay it on a quilt in the kitchen, some kind of blanket, and put this on top, let baby lay on it, just to kind of kick around in the kitchen or the living room, just to kind of, if I need to put baby down for a minute. Most of the time I'm holding baby. I also use them for burp rags or spit rags. We had tons of burp cloths with my first. We still actually have all of those burp cloths. Some of them have become cleaning rags since this point, or shop rags, but we still have a whole pile of them in our attic that I probably need to just move on along because I don't even pull them out anymore. If I need a burp baby, I just throw it over my shoulder in case they spit up a little or drool a little, and this is what I use them for. They just are recycled throughout the day for all the things that we need to wipe, to cover, to lay on, to swaddle them in. First week or 2 of baby's born, I don't even put clothes on baby. I just wrap them in a blanket, keep them in a diaper, because they're doing lots of skin to skin at that point, and I don't want to keep taking their clothes on and off. It's just easy to keep them wrapped in a blanket and their diaper on that first week or 2. So our swaddle blankets get used for so many things other than swaddling. This is my absolute favorite pack. It's just a simple pack from Amazon. Comes in a pack of 4. They come in really good neutral colors. I've now had these with 3 children, and they're just getting softer and softer with time. So I love these. Next, I'll move to probably my second most used item, and that is a baby carrier. So I use my baby carriers multiple times throughout the day, at least 3 or 4 times throughout the day. So I have 4 at this point. I've gotten a new one with each child. It's kind of been like a gift from my mom with each of my children. So my first child, I had the Solly stretchy wrap, the stretchy carrier. I love that for the newborn age. My second child, I invested in the ring sling. Love that one as well. Third, soft structured carrier. And then with this baby, we invested in the woven wrap. So there are pros and cons to each of those wraps. I love the stretchy wraps for the newborn age because they can just get really snuggly in there. But as they get bigger, they start to move and stretch us out more, and they get looser in my opinion. So I really only like the stretchy wraps until about 4 or 5 months. Then I really love a soft structured carrier for the ease of putting them on. There's no really learning curve to learn to do a wrap like a woven wrap or a stretchy wrap. The ring sling is pretty user-friendly. It's not my favorite, but it is really convenient to get on and off. There's no learning curve there. The woven wrap probably has the most versatility, but the biggest learning curve, at least for me. There are so many videos I've been watching lately on the woven wrap just to try to learn to carry him in that, because that is the newest one I've had with this baby, and I want to learn to carry him in woven wrap on my back for when I go out for farm chores milking the cow, and just because it's not safe to have a baby on your front when you're milking a cow. So we're still learning the back carrier for this small of a newborn. So that has been a learning curve, but it is, I've heard a lot of people recommend if you only need one wrap, because you don't need all four. There are pros and cons to them all, but I definitely don't recommend having all four. I've just gotten gifted one each with each child because I just like having a variety of wraps, but it's not necessary. I've heard many mamas say if you only need one wrap, go with the woven because it's so versatile. There is a learning curve to learn to carry with it, but once you learn it, you can carry your child up to like 4 or 5 years old if you get a big enough size. So I will link the ones I have below. I'll link some videos on some really good woven wrap tutorials that I'm not experts at, because I'm still learning it with this baby. This is the first time I've had it. But my carrier is my go-to. I cook dinner with the carrier on. I do a lot of contact naps with baby in the carriers. We're outside doing things with the other kids, or doing chores outside, or doing work outside, baby's in the carrier, so that it's easy for me to be hands-free and help my husband cooking dinner. I can have 2 hands to cook dinner. It's just so convenient. I always recommend new mamas to learn to baby carry, baby wear, because it's so convenient. Baby loves it. They love being close to you, and it's so convenient for you to have both hands free, but also know that baby's sleeping soundly and cuddly right there next to you. Okay, next we'll go into clothes. Clothes are way overrated for babies. Babies don't need a lot of clothes. It's hard to get clothes on and off little babies. They fight you, they cry, they wiggle. Their hands are hard to push through the sleeves. They can't push their arms to help you like a bigger kid can. So I just stick to the basics for babies. Our 4th child, our son here, has so few outfits, and I love it, honestly, because I just rotate through those few. I do laundry pretty much every day, so there's no need to have lots and lots of outfit options. I know that outfit options are fun, and with our first child, I had probably 40 or 50 outfits in just the newborn to 3 months age, and he went through not even half of them. Some of them he didn't even wear, some of them he only wore one time, and yes, it's so fun, and it's so cute, and they're so cute in these little outfits, but it's just not necessary. So if you are looking for budget-friendly options, go with minimal outfits. So all he has are 3 to 4 zip sleepers. These are the most convenient to me for putting on and off baby. Most of the time I put him on at night, and he doesn't even take that one off until I put it on him the next night after he gets cleaned up for bed. 3 to 4, maybe 5 zip sleepers. There are snap ones, there are magnetic ones. The zippers are my favorite because they're easy, you just zip it right up. And then a few onesies. So I think we have maybe 5 to 7 onesies. And then this baby, this is the first baby I've ever had these little t-shirts for. Now we did just invest in wool diapers for him because I just wanted to try them and I actually love them. But with the wool diapers, it is kind of hard to put a snap onesie over. You can do it, it will fit. But I just like being able to see the wool diaper. I think they're really cute. So I did, this is like his only new item, or these little pullover t-shirts. So just something very basic for baby. I would not go all overboard with clothes and outfits. Now, even my little girls, they had some little sweet little dresses, but they never wore them. They still wore these few little zipper onesies, the few little zip sleepers, the few snap onesies, a few zip sleepers, because it's just easier, it's simpler, and it's not necessary to have so many clothes for baby. Clothes are so overrated for babies. And again, a lot of them, if you're a first-time parent, you're going to be gifted so many outfits, and it's so generous and such a blessing. But you're going to find that you don't actually go through that many of those clothes with a newborn baby, because they just, it's easy just to keep them in something simple and move on with your day. Next, let's talk about diapers. Of course, that's going to be a necessity. So we use cloth diapers. I've talked so much about cloth diapers on this channel. I have videos on what we use, how we use them, how often we wash them, how we store them. So I'll link those below if you want to see more about our cloth diapering experience. We've now used cloth diapers with 4 children. It saved us so much money. You can obviously use disposable. I do always recommend looking into the safety of the diapers, the fragrances that are used, the chemicals that are used. Like the diapers that change colors when they wet, that is very convenient, but there is a chemical used in that is helping that diaper change. So again, totally optional. Just look into what diapers you want to use. We love cloth. We love the brand brand Healthy Nest for disposable as well as made of. Same with wipes. We love the Healthy Nest wipes, the made of wipes, and then I also, with this child, just invested in reusable wipes, which have been very, very convenient. With cloth diapering, using reusable wipes is not any more difficult. You just toss the wipes in with your cloth diapers, wash them, hang them on the line, put them back with your diapers, and that's it. So we keep diapers pretty simple. Cloth is pretty easy. The assembly system is easy enough for dads to do, I always say. I know a lot of dads don't like the folds and the snappies and all with cloth diapers, but assembly is very easy to use. It's just like putting on a disposable, except it's reusable. Now I have done some flat folds with this baby using the snappy hooks, which I like, but they're kind of like my backup when we run out of the cloth diapers. The assembly cloth diapers as he has on right now with a little wool cover. So diapers, we keep it pretty simple. That's obviously a necessity. I always just want to throw in there to look at your options, look at what's going to save you money, what you're comfortable using, what chemicals you're comfortable with in your child's diaper, because this is something they're going to be wearing 24/7 at all times. Now with my last child, we did do some elimination communication at around 6 to 8 weeks. So I'm planning to start that with him as well. Pretty soon, so that always saves on diapers, but it's not necessary. A lot of parents are intimidated by elimination communication. It's actually a lot simpler than I thought. I did it with my last child. Okay, and that is the bare minimum. I'm looking around right now at what else. I mean, if you're using cloth diaper, you're gonna need a wet bag to put them in, but that's all in my cloth diapering video. We don't use creams for diapers. I just use like tallow or coconut oil that I have in my kitchen, so I don't really consider that a baby item. I don't use diaper rash creams and all of that just because of the chemicals in them, and there are some clean options, but it's just easier to use something that I already am buying to cook with that's safe for babies. So I don't use all the creams or the lotions. For baths, we don't use soap at this age. We use just water. I don't have baby bathtubs. I just lay baby on a towel, let him kick in about 1 inch or 2 of water. So that is it for the minimal baby items. I'm gonna give you a few bonus extras if you want just a few things that if you wanna know a few things that we have, but I don't find necessary. So for mama, a pump. Obviously, if you want to store some breast milk, you're gonna need some sort of a pump. You could use a haka to catch your letdown. That's easy to store milk, especially in the early days when you are really full and baby's not emptying you completely. Those first early days when you're kind of regulating out your milk. I prefer a hand pump, the Medela hand pump that you hook on, you suction on, and then you hand pump it. So I like to feed baby on one side and then pump on the other to kind of help with the letdown for the side you're pumping. I absolutely do not enjoy an electric pump. I used to work outside of the home and had to use an electric pump 4 or 5 times a day every single day. With my first child, I used to pump about 10 times a day because we had some milk supply issues. So I absolutely hate an electric pump. I do not react well to it. We have a very, very strong hate relationship. But if you are going to use an electric pump, many mamas love it. I use the Medela and I also use the Spectra. But that is not a necessity. You don't have to pump for your baby. If you're going to be home with your baby all the time, there's no need to pump. It's really just, if you're working outside the home, yes, you obviously have to pump or you have to supplement. But if you're in the home with your baby all the time and you're not planning to go places without your baby, which I don't, he goes with me everywhere, there's no need to pump. I do pump in the beginning to help with engorgement, to help with like the uncomfortable feeling, and just have a little bit in the freezer in case of an emergency. But if there was an instance where I all of a sudden was not able to feed him, we have an option to make a homemade formula that we did with our first child. I've talked about that before, but won't go into that here in this video. But so I know there's an option that I feel comfortable giving him if I was all of a sudden unable to breastfeed him. So pumping is not necessary unless you're just wanting to have a stash or build up your supply for a certain reason. It's not necessary. We see all these women with freezer stashes full of milk and we think, oh, we have to match that. No, we really don't. You can just feed your baby on demand when they need it, and your milk will regulate itself to what your baby needs, and that's perfectly okay. I've never had freezer stashes full of milk because I've always had just sort of a normal or a lower end on my supply, and it's just not something that's been necessary for us. And I've just found that if baby's with me all the time, which I love, I don't go anywhere without him. Then if we go on a date, which does not happen often, he just goes with us. If I wanted to pump just to go on a date or something with my husband, I would do that. But it's just convenient just to feed him straight from the tap. As far as storing options going on with your pump, I don't like the plastic bags. That is the most economical for space and cheapest. We actually store milk in mason jars, or in the past, I've stored milk in mason jars when I was pumping with my first 2 children when I was working. We store in 4-ounce or 8-ounce mason jars. I have an entire video on that, on how I store breast milk. Now in that video, I talk a lot more about essentials, but those essentials are now not really essentials for us because we have changed a lot of how we approach minimalist baby items. So I'll link that video if you want to see our storage options, but just know that a lot of things I recommend in that video we no longer use. Another bonus item is going to be like a bassinet crib. We don't use cribs with our children. We have bassinets, but we don't actually use them. Our babies co-sleep, and then when they're 4 or 5 months, we put them in a floor bed on a crib mattress. You really don't even have to do that. You can just use an adult mattress, just lay it on the floor and put baby on it if you are wanting to go very minimal and not have to buy a lot of extra things. A crib is not necessary. Babies don't have to be caged in, contrary to what we believe. Babies will learn independence if they are allowed in a floor bed. Newborn babies sleep perfectly fine in your bed if you're comfortable with that, with co-sleeping. Of course, safe co-sleeping options, not under the influence of any outside substances, keeping your hair tied back, making sure you have enough space between your husband, baby, you, so that there is no chance of smothering. I know co-sleeping gets a bad reputation, but it's not the co-sleeping that's hurting babies. It's something else that's causing the reason for the SIDS and all of that, which we won't talk about here. But there's this really interesting phenomena that I've actually noticed as being a breastfeeding mama, co-sleeping mama. When we are co-sleeping and breastfeeding our children, our bodies sync with our sleep cycles sync with their sleep cycles. It's really, really interesting. This is what I love about co-sleeping. Is so when he's in a deep sleep, my body goes into deep sleep. When he's in a really light sleep, I find myself in a really light sleep, and I'm very aware of him and his needs. So it's really interesting. But your husband, however, does not have that intuition as a father. I mean, he may hear the baby throughout the night, but he's not in sync with baby's cues and calling out and hunger cues. So it is very important to make sure you have a safe space from your husband. Not that your husband's going to intentionally hurt baby, but my husband is actually a very light sleeper. So our baby does sleep in between us, but closer to me. Pillows are about a foot apart. My husband and I's pillows, we're in a king bed, so there's plenty of room. Baby sleeps more to my side, and my husband just naturally stays on his side. So it's not a big deal. If you want a bassinet, great. If you want a crib, great. We don't consider those necessary, so we just co-sleep and move to 4 beds about 4 to 5 months. Another bonus item is a bouncer or some sort of baby container. This is totally not necessary, but there are times when you feel touched out and you want to lay baby down, put them in something. You can opt for a sort of a swing, a bouncer. I know what else out there now, because we do have a free movement bouncer, so it's not mechanically moving. Baby is moving it himself, but that's not necessary. You can easily lay baby on a quilt, on a swaddle blanket, on the floor, and they are just fine instead of having a sort of a container for them. Again, we are marketed so many items that aren't necessary for our newborn babies, when hundreds of years ago, mamas just laid their babies on a quilt on the floor and they were just fine. A couple other things, pacifier, nose sucker, toys. I have those on as bonus items that we don't even use. I know a lot of people recommend the nose bulbs, the nose suckers, the nose Fritas. There's all kind of contraptions out there now. I found just a general nose bulb works just fine for cleaning baby out. We haven't even actually used one on him. We already have those for our older children for cleaning their noses, so I don't even consider that a baby essential, but it's just more gadgets sold to us for things that aren't necessary. Pacifier, if you do want some sort of soothing device, pacifier is great. I'll link the one we use below that's very much shaped like a nipple that we've had the best success with. Our babies don't use passies that often. It's very, very sporadic, like on car rides when I can't comfort them. But most of the time, I just let myself be the pacifier, and I'm totally okay with that. But if you need a break from that and you want the pacifier, there are some really good options out there that very much mimic the nipple and are very comforting for baby. Toys, I had so many toys with my first child. Now we have a basket of literally 4 toys, and it never even gets used. My older children pull it down and try to hand them to him, and I'm like, he's not ready to play with toys. And it's really truth. It's not necessary. There is no really need for toys until probably 3 to 6 months. And still, then at that point, you could have like 3 toys and your infant would be just fine. So I know we go way overboard with newborn toys and mobiles and all these little gadgets, but it's not necessary. And then last thing I said as a bonus is a stroller. Okay, I didn't say car seat. That's definitely a necessity, but that's a given because in society today, we go places. We have to take our babies with us. We all know we need a car seat. We use a baby car seat system and have used it for all 4 children and just recycle that infant car seat over and over and over. I love an infant car seat because you can carry it out of the vehicle with you. I know a lot of people will go straight to a convertible car seat because then they can use it all the way up till their child is in the booster seat age. But I've just found I love having an infant seat because they fall asleep so often in the car and it's just convenient to pull the seat out and take it with you wherever you're going instead of having to unstrap baby from the convertible car seat and then carry them in. But a stroller, that's what I was getting to. A stroller is not a necessity because if you're out and about, you can easily just put baby in a carrier, and that's actually what I do most often. Then we have just our double jogger stroller that we use for our farm. It's called our farm stroller, but it's something we have with other kids, and he does not even ride in that stroller right now. So it's not a necessity for the newborn age. You can definitely invest in that as they get older, but I don't find it necessary for the newborn age. I just rather wear my babies in the newborn age when we're outside, out and about, going to places, going to the grocery store, because it's so much easier than having to lug around the stroller. He's getting very tired, so I need to try to get him to sleep. Okay, so that is it. So I hope this list of our newborn essentials with our 4th baby was helpful for y'all, and you realize that a lot of the things that are marketed to new parents are just that. They're a marketing scheme to make money. There are things that our babies don't actually need that we're not going to actually use that are going to end up just sitting there. And a lot of things are nice to have, but they're just not a necessity. So if you want some of those things and you want to expand out, wonderful, because we definitely had a lot more items with our first baby. Our house looked like a baby house and you could tell there was a newborn baby. Now our house just looks like a house. We don't have all those baby things out everywhere like we are told that we need to have as new parents. So I hope you found this helpful. If there are anything that you think is an essential or that was an essential for you with your newborn baby, list that below. There could be something that I forgot about or that would help another parent to think, oh, I actually really do want to use that. So leave ideas down below if you have anything to add, and I will talk to you in my next video.